Hello, there's an anticlimax whenever that music stops. Hey, hello everyone, and welcome to the Us Roar Lion Edition book launch tour. And welcome. I am beside myself, delighted to be sharing about this amazing book with you all. I'm sure you heard and seen the buzz of it around our castle trip and where we launched the series, and now we're launching the book. And you're going to get to meet some of the amazing co-authors, not all because there's 38 of them. And this is book one of 8. So it's our Lion edition. It's stories, powerful stories of courage and perseverance. So if you want to know more about this amazing series, please go to my website, which is www.kpwofficial.com, and you will see Here is Roar, and you can go and check out all the vibe and the wonder. Now, this is not just a book series, it's also a docu-film series, and you're going to learn more about that as well, because not only are our co-authors authors, they're going to be cast members in our docu-film that's launching in November this year. So I just want to get on with it, and let's get meeting some of these amazing humans. If you have any questions, just pop them in the comments, and we may share them throughout the live. We expect to go for about 25-30 minutes. But let's get on with this and let's hear these co-authors roar. And I'm going to bring up the amazing Bianca Staworski. Bianca, welcome. Come and join me.
Barani Mana.
Yay! And we had fun with this project, Bianca.
Absolutely. It has been the most incredible, uplifting project to see people standing in their power, just taking it on and being unapologetic about what their journeys were to get where they are. It's been magic.
And courage and perseverance, it takes that to get far. We never stop being courageous and persevering on our quest in life. But before we go in and talk about your chapter, can you share a little bit about yourself for those people who are watching and don't know who you are?
Yeah, sure. I'm a Buddy Maya and Ukrainian woman. Buddy Maya means First Nations person from Midwest, Western Australia. And, I kind of fell into writing. I run an international social enterprise, and I got the opportunity through you, Karen, to write a while ago, and then I discovered that I actually loved it. And so I'm wearing all these different labels now. Now I'm wearing author and co-author because it felt really weird at first. And so, yeah, I guess I'm a change maker, I'm a healer, I'm a coach, and all things in between. I am all about empowerment because I've done that journey myself. And so I guess that's probably me there. But yeah, author is my latest latest thing.
You're so good at it because you know how to connect with the soul essence of story and as a catalyst for change. And your words, when you share, you just open up your heart and you write. And you're in quite a few anthologies now, and you're writing your own books, and you're doing all sorts of things. Like you make me tired watching you and all of the amazing things that you do. You're always traveling everywhere to do speaking and everything. What fuels you? And what just being courageous and perseverance? 'Cause that's you. Does that mean for you?
Yeah, I think, and it's probably part of what I wrote in my chapter, is that taking back your agency, taking back your power. So often what we do is we get weighed down by others' expectations, others' opinions, thoughts, and actually courage and perseverance is about, we have our own innate power. Everybody does, and it's stepping back into that and being unapologetic about what that actually is. Now that's the cool part. That's the bit is actually, once we actually step into our power, we recognize our innate strength. And that's not a strength as in being better than anybody else. That's just our are giving ourselves permission to take up space, and that's the important part. I think also making sure that we honour our ancestral lineages, and so recognising it's not just about here now, this innate power. It's the ancestral strength that comes through. That's really probably the biggest thing, especially about courage and perseverance. I mean, it is the key to living a life filled with passion and joy and purpose.
Oh, music to my ears, Bianca, honestly. And we all have, quite behind us, so much story behind us. And it's important to ensure we don't own it and in our now, in our present moment, because it's helped us to become who we are today and who our future self will become. We can't let it hold us back. We've got to bring the good of it with it and move forward in it, in our power. And you're all about power. We just love it. Bianca, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, so I'm based on Ghana country here in Adelaide, but work everywhere. But if you look up Warrada Holistic Wellness, which is there in the list, and just have a look what we do. So maybe see how we can either support you or how you can support our mission and our vision to create change for empowered women living their life on their terms. That's have a look at us up. If you just type in Warrada and then W, you'll find us.
Love the
Um,
W's. We love
yeah.
it.
But read the book too. When the book
Yes,
comes out, read it.
yeah,
There are incredible stories in there of
it's something
people
to
doing amazing things,
it's a
and
powerful.
it's yeah, and this beautiful feeling of when you actually, you know, be completely honest, give yourself that just lay yourself out bare. There's a freedom to that, and everyone that's written in there is incredible stories.
It's the way forward. To be honest and to share our stories and connect and heal and move forward with it. There's so much power in story. Thank you for showing up for story, Bianca.
Thank you.
Amazing, Bianca Stewart. You got to check out that woman. Honest to goodness, we love her. And now I'm going to introduce you to another amazing woman who is Holly Holland, who I've been on the journey with Holly since 2019. Hello, Holly. How are you going?
Hi, Karen. I'm doing well, thank you.
That's awesome. Holly, can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I'm an intuitive author. I embarked on my writing journey with Karen. I really had always wanted to write. I had been a person recovering from grief. My husband had died from pancreatic cancer, and I wanted to write my story. And Karen started guiding me, and that actually led me into embracing a lot more about energy and intuition. And it's just been such an amazing journey. I have appreciated the time that I have spent and just how much I've learned. I was able to discover that was actually always a big part of my life, and I had been ignoring a few of those little hints that were coming to me.
You have been on such a journey, and you are a testament to when you choose and have the courage and perseverance to write your story. Because writing a story and to help others through grief is a beautiful intention, but it's hard to do because it means you have to relive a lot of your own grief and moments. And you've done it. You've done it with such grace, Holly. I must admit, and you did it with the intention of helping others through the stages of grief. You were quite young whenever you lost your husband. You had two boys, I believe, as well. And so you have embarked on a journey, and it's become so much more than a book, but it's honouring your story and helping others honour their story. And this is only a few years ago, like it was 2019, you embarked on this journey. I've watched this big transformative process, all because you showed up and had the courage to write your first book.
Thank you, Karen. Yes, I have to say it was a huge surprise to me. I always thought I was doing it solely for other people, and to discover how much it helped myself as well. I think it's hard to know how far along you are on your grief journey, and oh, what a gift writing has been.
And they do say, with mental health and with these journeys, that the call to write your story is part of the last parts of healing. So it's a beautiful. That's why story is so important in my life, and to help others to share those. And I just want to thank you for showing up with story, Holly, because you do it every single day. So can you share with us a little bit about your chapter in Heroes River?
Yes, my roar is about the synergy of writing, intuition, trust, and gifts. And it takes courage to implement and maintain boundaries. And that is something that definitely has become clear as I've been on the journey. And when you trust yourself, you can persevere through anything in life.
You hear the wisdom, everyone. Wow. Words of wisdom. And I love it. And Holly, thank you so much for showing up for story, showing up for Heroes Roar. And I'm sure you want to hear more and get to know Holly more in the pages of this book, because when someone's reading your story, you have their undivided attention when you're reading it. It's beautiful. So thank you, Holly, for joining me today. And all the way from Canada, I must admit.
Yes.
And yeah, thank you for joining me, and thank you for showing up for Heroes Roar.
Thank you so much. I'm so delighted with this.
Oh, thank you, Holly. And now I'm going to introduce the wonderful Lisa Benson. Welcome, Lisa.
Hi, Karen. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Hey, we've been on another journey and another book, Lisa. You've got a nice little library now.
I know, a little bit of a collection.
And you and Holly and Bianca happen to be at the castle as well for the launch of this amazing series. And what energy getting everyone together. There was a roar, wasn't there? You could hear
There was
a roar.
huge roar. It was so amazing to meet everyone in person and feel that collective energy and people coming from all around the world to meet in just that short time. And it was just, it was beautiful to meet everyone. And I just can't wait to be a part of this and to share all of our stories and continue the relationships that we've made with each other.
Absolutely. And we're going to have lots of more catch-ups because we have lots of books to launch. So we're going to be launching and catching up all over the world over the next couple of years, which is absolutely fabulous. So Lisa, can you share with me, because we talked yesterday about your Heroes Roar story, and you said that you really loved writing this story and it brought it, so can you share a little bit about that?
Absolutely. I feel that, and each writer has their own, opinions on their own writing. And I feel that this is one of the best pieces of writing that I've ever written. And I have, as you know, written my own book called Where Have I Been All My Life, through you, as well as several other anthologies. So it's a big thing for me to do. This was really about finding my voice. And I went very deep into this, and I feel changed after the experience of writing this piece. So, and obviously after every piece of writing we changed, but this one in particular, it went very deep into finding my voice, and it's called The Roar of Silence. And I know I'm not alone here, that I'm a Gen Xer and it's a lot of the baby boomers as well, who we were brought up in a generation where we were taught to be quiet and you can't say this and you can't do this. And it was all about what other people thought of us and the perfectionism part of it and people pleasing. And so my story is about when we suppress those emotions and we don't tell the truth and get those stories and feelings out, that there are consequences. And what happens is, it affects our health and lots of other things, but it also affects us when we do get the courage, which my story is about, finally getting the courage to stand up and speak my true feelings, and how that is actually not just an easy step from A to B either. There's a transformation process that there's an ugly part in the middle. We can't just, transform and read a book and then just be a new person. We have to go through the pain and the struggles. And I speak about that and how it ended up being one of the low points in my life when I spoke up, because I felt that guilt and the shame that I'd been taught to feel. So it's a very powerful, powerful message. And I can't wait to share the message, and hopefully
there's such a powerful message in that, because quite often people carry shame and it's not their shame to carry. It's and like, what a powerful 2,500 words you wrote, Lisa, for that to have such an impact on you. And I highly recommend that everyone goes and checks out Where Have I Been All My Life, which is Lisa Benson's debut memoir, and it is, like, it's won so many awards, Lisa, and it's just everyone who embraces it changes them a little bit because it resonates with something. Can you share that?
Lee. Means a lot to me, Karen. Yeah, I wrote another piece for another book, and it's about the ripple effect of, we don't know when we're writing these stories who we're going to touch or where it's going to go, and it doesn't matter. Our calling is to just put these words out into the world, and where they're meant to go, they're meant to go. And I think this is true for all the authors in this amazing anthology.
It is absolutely. So thank you for again showing us your story, Lisa. I know we're going to see more of you because I feel stories brewing right now.
I know, lots happening. Thank you so much, Karen. I'm excited about this.
Thanks, Lisa. Bye.
Bye.
And now I am delighted to welcome Karen Perks to join me on stage. Hello, Karen. How are you going?
Hi, Karen. How are you?
I am really good. The two Karens, hey?
I know, back together again.
And Karen, Heroes Roar, you wrote a story for us to get shared in this amazing book. Can you share a little bit about that with everyone?
Certainly. Hear Us Roar, when you mentioned what the title was, I instantly knew what I wanted to write about. And so my story is about the courage and perseverance in going for something that so devastatingly happens to you or to me in my life, and the journey that as it turned out, it was a chronic illness, and the journey that I had to go on until I found my voice again, and the courage and the perseverance it took to move through what was so overwhelming, to come out the other side and be confident and love life again, and be able to put it in its place.
And you do, like, you're so honest in your chapter. When I read your chapter, I was like, wow, I got to know Karen so much more than, and it was such an honor to read what you shared. And I was like, that is total courage there to share that story. Really,
it was.
How did that feel for you?
No, thank you. It was. I decided that it had to be all completely honest. This was a once in a lifetime chance, because you don't know who's going to read the chapter, and you don't know, if whoever else is in the same or a similar position, and to be able to look into the future of your own life from the position of somebody else's and their experiences can help. And I'd given the chapter a draft to a close colleague to read as a draft, and he didn't come back to me, and I contacted him, just a little funny story, a couple of weeks later, and I said, have you read it? I need some feedback. Was I achieving everything I was setting out to achieve? And he goes, oh, I thought it was a fiction story. And he said, I didn't know, because he only knows me now. He said, I had no idea that was your journey. And that's, he said, I understand why, parts of me are why they're there. He said, but I had no idea that your journey has been so devastating, and how you've come out the other side with with the courage to do what you do. So that was a good message of, okay, whatever happens in your life doesn't mean that that's your destiny. Yeah, it's not who you are at the end.
Now, Karen, because we're like, oh my goodness. Like Bianca has just popped in and she says, I love that, Karen, your journey.
Thanks, Bianca.
But it is that, and what happens to us doesn't have to define us. We can shift and grow through it, and our adversities quite often become our strengths.
Absolutely.
Well. Yeah, and you truly honour that. And for a colleague now to not be able to identify you from that is
I was a little bit insulted to start with, but then I took the takeaway of, okay, I haven't been defined by an event that had such incredible impact on my life, and I think that's a really big takeaway for many people.
So you get the positive out of it. That's what it's about. Can you share with everyone what you do and where they can find you?
Mm-hmm. So I run an international business. We have operations in Australia, the UK, and this year the US. We specialise in grant writing, tender writing. There's a lot of strategy that sits behind those submissions, feasibility studies, any business documents that need that strategic edge to them. So that's what our team and I do.
Yes, important work because it gets people progressional. That's projects under. And your wisdom writers, isn't it? That's what I love it.
Ancient wisdom business writers. So the ancient wisdom is I pull a lot of intuition when I write, and I didn't actually. It's probably been the last 12 months where I've been on this author journey where I've actually realized that I actually do. Even from business writing, there's a lot of intuition that goes into the creation of content.
It is absolutely. And like you're a writer for business writer, but writing something like this is different, isn't it?
Oh, it's so personal, and I love the switch to be able to write personal stories and know that you're having an impact, or you will have an impact in being able to share. And I'm really excited. I haven't unfortunately didn't get to go to Ireland this year, but I'm so excited to read everybody else's stories and we can share collectively.
We will have future adventures. We know it, Karen. Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So thank you so much for showing up your story and for sharing your story. And here is Roar.
Pleasure.
Karen. Thank you so much for joining us today as well. Thank you.
Pleasure, Karen. Always a pleasure. Thanks.
Amazing humans, didn't I tell you there are amazing people in this book, and we're only getting a little taster today. We've got more later. Now I'm about to introduce, but brace yourselves because I'm seeing what I'm seeing backstage, and you're going to brace yourselves for what you're going to see. And here comes the wonderful Sandy Davies. Welcome, Sandy. Is it you behind there, Sandy? Oh, you're muted. You have to unmute you. Let's unmute.
There we go. Hear us roar.
Can you hear you roar, Sandy? Do you roar on that?
My biggest roar is probably actually not a roar, but more of a purr, kind of like my chapter that was, don't let your purr diminish your strength.
It's a great title. It really is. So tell us more about that, Sandy.
Yeah, well, when the theme for the Lion edition was courage and perseverance, I was like, oh my goodness, Karen, you're singing my song. And one of the things I've found after semi-retiring and then coming back into business again in my 50s, people always say, oh, you're so courageous. And how do you find the strength? And I thought, for this series, because it's a legacy project, I kind of looked at my legacy as well. And I thought, I'm going to dig back and dive deep and go back and share some of the stories of my youth that created that foundation for strength and courage. And I loved going back to things I hadn't thought about in 35 years.
35 years flies in, Sandy. We know that when you're having fun, hey?
Oh, I know. It just goes so fast.
Well, so tell us about Happy Paws, because we love it. It's intriguing to tell us about it.
Yes, so I had an adventure business down in southeast Queensland on Fraser Island on Gari. And we just realized we wanted more from life. And we ended up selling our business, moving to far north Queensland and semi-retiring. And then all of a sudden, perimenopause said, hello. And I found that there weren't really as many things out there to help us through the perimenopause journey as I thought we needed. And I went back to my high school chemistry and college chemistry roots and formulated a product for intimate dryness, which is something that 80% of us will struggle with from our 40s onwards. And didn't realize when I was caught up in all the joy of doing it, how much stigma there was going to be. So I've become a huge positive aging advocate and a breaker down of walls and stigma to ensure that middle age and midlife and beyond is a time to thrive just as much as when we were in our 20s and in our youth.
You are energy ball. I just love watching you online. You are so fun and so joyous, and you always know that you can smile whenever we see you pop up online. And what you done, it's become easier to speak about now, but when you were doing it was quite taboo, I'm sure.
It was so taboo. And now, well, even this morning on ABC News Breakfast, there was a story about menopause. And yet, when I first started reaching out to the press and trying to get a little bit of conversation around menopause in the press, everyone just backed away until you could hear the deafening silence. So I love that having that courage to roar actually kind of started the conversation. There were a number of us out there just advocating. And when you hear those conversations now, you know that having the courage to do that actually had an impact.
Kiara, who's coming on next, who said, "Oh my goodness, you go, Sandy." Absolutely, you go, and I just love it because it's really innovative. It's definitely courage and perseverance, because you had to just keep going whenever the world was saying, "Oh, we're not comfortable with this." But you kept the conversation going, and you roared your way through it, and you find, you help people. I know I got a beautiful package from you, and I want to just share with everyone. My daughter was diagnosed with diabetes, and you sent me a beautiful package because you knew that your product helps people with diabetes. So I want to thank you publicly for that. It really touched my world.
Well, and that is one of the things for me. Like, I created Happy Paws because of a personal problem that I was facing during perimenopause. And what I didn't realize was that dryness is something that impacts people with type 1 diabetes, impacts people doing endurance training, impacts people going through any type of cancer treatment. I had no idea. And there's so much, stigma in that conversation. So it's just given me so much joy to know that aha moment of creation has had a ripple of goodness to give other people comfort with something that we actually just don't even speak about.
Yeah, we love you. Thank you so much for showing up your story and here is Roar. And yeah, let's get this out into the world and let it join your little book babies behind you there that I see. They're gorgeous. A beautiful collection.
Oh, thanks, Karen. And let me just close with my favorite quote from my chapter. A lioness embraces her fear and still turns to face the sun. So for any readers, if you're struggling and trying to figure out how you're going to find the courage, even if your knees are knocking, just face the sun and do it. Take the leap. You won't regret it and you won't look back. I promise.
Oh, what a beautiful note to end on. We're going to end there. Go and check out Sandy Davies and the Happy Paws, guys. Thank you, Sandy. Oh, I love it. And guys, I am just so delighted to share with you the amazing Kiara Shaw, who is a gorgeous friend of mine, and we're going to learn lots of amazing things from this divine soul. So I'm going to bring you on up to Kiara Shaw. Hello! You're muted. Hold on. Let me just unmute you. Can we unmute you? We need to
Oh,
unmute you.
there I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, there you go. I know I missed some gold there, but however.
The gold was, how do I follow that? Sandy's got me all hyped up and vibed up, and indeed everyone who spoke before Sandy. It's just, this is such a beautiful space, Karen. Thank you so much.
It is so special, yeah, and you know these callings that happen, and this was definitely a calling. But it's not just a calling for me; it was a calling for everyone who showed up and come into the book and into the future books. It's just one of those divine projects that you show up and action, and then it all happens on its own. It's just beautiful, and you know all about that. So can you share with me everything Kiara shared right now?
Wow, everything. Okay, let me just do it in a shorter, succinct way. So I'm a metaphysical therapist from way back. Currently, I am the spiritual advisor and the president of the Australian division of the Napoleon Hill Institute. We teach all things Napoleon Hill, and we study and teach it every day. And my mission in life has always been, which is why I do today, what I do, is to awaken the magnificence in others. And everything that Sandy just shared really resonated with me, because it's about, especially for women, it's our time to shine. It's our time to really bring out the magnificence that we are and not hide that. So I'm all about that and living our calling. And the story that I share in the book, in your beautiful book, is all about, living by your soul name, which is a very, very big part of it, which was really my turning point 30 years ago. In fact,
Oh,
it was 30
that
years ago.
story. That story just knocked me off my socks. It knocked me socks off when you told it to me. I was like, that has to be in the book. It's so insightful, like for that story for you personally, but for others to learn through your story. You know, I got a lot from your story, from my own personal story. It wasn't mine; it was your story that I learned from it. So, can you just share about this? Because I watch you doing this a lot, sharing the stories of your experiences to help others on their journeys. Can you share a little bit about that? It happens a lot in the Korean Institute.
Yeah, look, I think the thing I want to share the most about this is that we need to listen to our bodies. I've taught a lot over the years about listening to your body. If your body's out of whack, if we're feeling unwell, there's usually a thought or belief that's behind it. And, when I was, going on 30 years of age, I was very unwell. And life led me to a very special man. You'll read the story in the book, but led me to a very special man who had me understand that I wasn't living my soul name. So my name is Kiara, which is my soul name. And for the first 30 years of my life, I was known as Kerry. And so not to how do I say this, take away from who I was as Kerry. I was meant to be that for a while. But then leading into 30, it was very clear that I needed to go back to my birth name, which was Kiara. And once I did that, my whole life took on a whole new trajectory. So it's so important. And since then, I've worked with people who have been feeling unwell, and I help them see, well, what are you thinking about yourself? What are your thoughts? And we help them discover what those thoughts are so that they can heal themselves naturally. And some of the people along the way have also changed their name. So, that's just one of the ways in which I help people really awaken their magnificence and who they're truly meant to be.
And it was at that time when I was changing my name that we had this conversation serendipitously, because things were unsettling and everything around it. There's an energetic shift when you do it. You have to honor it and write it out. And you really helped me at that time. Because I was like, oh, there's this happening, and I was like, I'm just going to bring it home. bring it home, and I'm just going to own it. And it just helped me really with the defining decision. So I want to thank you for that.
I remember that conversation, Karen. It was so beautiful, and it was so how do I say this? So not comforting. It was confirming for me. It was confirming for me that sharing this story is important, and I could
Isn't
see the shift it
I look
made for you.
forward to hearing what it ignites with others, because it is, that's how you write. You're very philosophical in how you share, your journey. It's always with a lesson in it. And I don't know if you do that, Kiara, but you do it very intently. So that's why I love, because you're in The Magic of Mindfulness, my other book, and you've got your own books as well, that people can go and check out. So where can people find you, Kiara?
My website is kiarasharp.com. So you'll go there and you'll find everything there that I do, and my programs and my books. So kiarasharp.com.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for showing up here. Lord, there's comments going, ooh, I want to read this story.
Awesome.
So
Thank
so
you,
much.
Karen. Without you, we wouldn't be here. So thank you, my love. So grateful for
Oh,
you.
it's really good. Thank you, Kiara. Go and check out kiarasharp.com, everyone. All right. Bye. Well, there we go. That was only a snippet. That was only a few of our 38 co-authors in this amazing book. Can you imagine the stories in this book? And not only the book, but when the docufilm comes out, it's going to have a huge ripple effect. So here, Us Roar, watch out for this evening. We're going to have another live interview. If this calls for you to be part of, you can go and check out more. It's running down the bottom, apwofficial.com, Us Roar series, so HUR-series, and come and join us. We are very protective of our lair and who comes into it, but stories are important. Our community is important, and if you have a story that is important, just come and share it with us. Lion Book is already launched. We've got Lioness coming next, and beautiful tigers and females and cheetahs, all with different themes. But I want to officially launch Courage and Perseverance, the Lion edition of this beautiful Divine Legacy series that called out to me, wouldn't let me sleep at night, and I am showing up for it now for the next few years. So come and join the fun, and congratulations to all of our co-authors. I'm going to bring the four behind stage. They're going to come up and join me, so we can just ride this out. I'm going to put on our little video so that we can ride this out. So let's celebrate us all, guys. Woo! Sandy, get that mask
Yay.
on.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us.